Everybody, what is going on? I know it has been a hot minute since we brought you a weekly update, and I'm really sorry about that. I've missed you guys too. Speaking of hot, that's 90% of the reason why it's been so long, because the month of August, it was just unbearable to be in here. I love being in Eric's shop. It's an awesome place to work. It's just, since we never got around to insulating the place, it just makes it torture to be in here. And any of you guys that work out in the elements, you know, line workers, HVAC guys, oil field, you guys, y'all have my respects. The hottest environment I was in was, I think, Incirlik, Turkey, 2007 when I was active duty. And it got hot. Like, we were on a flight line, you know, 10, 12 hours a day, and it was hot. But being in here, even with all the fans running, it's just unbearable. So the month of August, we just said, you know what, we'll come back and attack it in September. And of course, September came around, had to take a little bit of time off, go hang out with Cassandra out in North Carolina, because that's where she's at right now. As the rest of September has kind of wound down, she's getting ready to retire. She's done her 20 years. We're trying to get some things moved around. This duramax is driving me to the point of insanity. You see these little T-fittings? This is a broken one. Notice how it's got a leg missing off of one side. This is a broken one. It's got the very, very tip of it that got broke off. And this is a good one. Where do these go? Well, I'm glad you asked. These are responsible for the beginning of the fuel return system on these LLY Duramaxes. So they daisy chain together, they come off the top of each injector, and they work their way back through the return system to the tank. We had this injector apparently still had a piece of one of those T-fittings broke off inside of it, and I didn't know it. So we ended up breaking another one, trying to install a new one. And luckily we kept the old set of hoses that came off because they still had a couple of good fittings on them. And then of course we launched one of these cool little, I call them Jesus clips, but they take off and you never see them again. It's somewhere down in the driver's side exhaust manifold, never to be seen again, down there in the heat shield. What else has held us up? Oh, I would like to introduce to you the world's most special wrench. This very teeny tiny little itsy bitsy Craftsman 6mm ratchet and wrench. Why is this wrench so special, Gary? Well, you see, in my haste to try to be cool and awesome and not have Allen headed bolts on the valve covers, I went ahead and ordered these through Dirty Hooker Diesel. And they're a 12.6 mil. And of course, the two that are all the way at the back, all the way up by the firewall, were the hardest ones to get to. And we went to 4 different stores in town. We started with a parts store, ended up at a tool store, and found that at the most unlikely place, at a home improvement store. And it was the only one in the drawer, so yay us. 17 bucks later, I could tighten 2 bolts. That's all we lacked. We have been making progress on the Duramax. We did get the heads torqued. Had to make our own socket to do that. You'll see it in the full length. We got the inlet logs bolted on, torqued down, turbos torqued down, the rails are torqued down, all the high pressure lines are in, the injectors are in, valves are lashed. Like, we haven't exactly just been sitting on our thumbs the last couple of weeks. We have gotten some work done. All the exhaust is done. So we're inching ever closer forward, and we would be a lot further forward if I paid closer attention. So you'll notice over here on the driver's side, talking about the fuel return, the low pressure return lines on the fuel system, there's this horseshoe looking piece right here, comes directly off the driver's side fuel log and starts its way through the return system to the CP3. I did not pay attention when I pulled this apart, because these few short rubber hoses are almost in just as bad a shape as the one you see in the top corner. It was bad. So yeah, we're in a holding pattern waiting for the new return hoses to come in, and I don't want to progress any further forward than this because it makes it very difficult to get to that stuff with other things in the way, like the big coolant crossover that goes to the front of the engine or the charge pipe inlet. So we're kind of at a holding spot. I kind of kicked myself in the face for this. I wish I'd have paid more attention when I was taking it apart. And if you see all the plastic all over the truck, don't worry, it's not in quarantine or sick or anything. Eric's been over here sanding and priming and sanding and trying to do things to turn an old Gen 1 military grade Hummer into like a quick attack truck for the volunteer fire department, which I think is really cool. That's what's been going on in our neighborhood. That's why we've been gone for so long. The heat, making a trip to North Carolina, all these other things. And like I said, you know, in between time, we were still putting in some work here and there on the Duramax, which should get finished up this week as soon as the hoses that I ordered for Dirty Hooker Diesel get here. Should be able to plug this away, get it wrapped up. I need to go right now, actually. I'm glad I'm talking to you guys, because I need to go right now and go get the batteries for this thing at our local battery store. So that's where I'm headed. I missed you guys. I'm glad we're back with you. For the subscribers who have just joined on recently, thank you guys so much. It's been awesome. For those of you who've been around for a while, thanks for being patient and sticking with us. And for those of you who haven't, and this might be your first time joining us and seeing our videos and seeing our content, stick around because I promise you it gets way better. We got some race cars we gotta get built. We got some hot street cars we gotta get to work on. My red truck needs a new engine next year. We got a lot coming, we really do. But thank you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.